Hello and welcome to Overcranked. We are your hosts. I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Freddie Nasru.
And today, as we promised you, Hannibal Lecter, we're giving you Star Wars.
Yes.
This is our top 10 Star Wars characters episode.
Yes.
Now, sorry, what were you saying?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
No.
something else. Okay. Now, warn you, this will contain spoilers, or may contain spoilers, for everything up to The Force Awakens, which is the most recent Star Wars film to be released in cinemas. So if you're not well versed in your Star Wars, one, you may not enjoy the episode,
Yes.
and two, you won't have a clue what we're talking about.
Yes.
Sort of like in the last news one when you had to read out that text about Captain America. That was really funny.
Cheers.
Yeah, Freddie's writing is very funny. I think the best episode we've done is the only one that I'm not in. Make of that what you will. Yeah, sorry, we didn't get round to rewatching Manhunter.
No.
So,
So we're giving you something very brand new and different.
yes, a non-review episode.
Yes, something a bit more panache. Hopefully.
We don't do panache, Freddie. We can't even do Nash. That would be funny if Nash was a thing.
I've got a friend called Matt Nash.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's a character in Highlander called Nash. Maybe it's his alias. Marvin Nash. What's...
That's
the
Reservoir
the
Dogs.
no.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yes,
The copper who gets his
guy
ear cut off by...
Yeah, that's it. I was thinking that's the name of the Gimp in Pulp Fiction, but his name is the Gimp.
Yes.
Alright.
Should we wake him up?
I hope to God you're not talking about Jake. That's our other housemate.
No, the Gimp.
We have a Gimp?
The line in Pulp Fiction.
I know.
Yes, that's what I was...
Okay, I thought... Never mind.
We don't have a Gimp.
So,
We don't have a
begin
Gimp.
with.
Seriously.
No, we don't. Honorary mentions.
Yes.
Who's your honorary mention, Freddie?
My honorary mention is Qui-Gon Jinn.
As is mine. Oh, okay.
Oh,
By the way, we
okay.
haven't seen each other's list.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. What's your reasoning for having Qui-Gon as your honorary mention?
Because he's a very strong character, but I think... well, he's first of all, he basically is the reason and everything happens.
That's my reason too.
But there are, I think, more important characters than him in the universe, and there are characters I just like more than...
Okay. I quite like Qui-Gon. He's... of characters who are in the foreground in the prequels, Obi-Wan's my favourite, but I do like Qui-Gon quite a bit. But I gave him the honorary mention because he's the one who finds Anakin and sets the story in motion. So, we haven't seen seen each other's lists. Well, that was
interesting.
Short-lived.
Yes.
Okay, who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Darth Maul.
Justify.
Right. He's probably the best villain in the prequels, not counting Sidious.
Okay.
He's also had a much bigger impact on the canon with his appearances in the Clone Wars and Rebels, which are both canon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number 10 is Yoda.
Ah.
I think Master Yoda is an embodiment of this idea that your power comes from within in Star Wars. You know, the Force is all in your head. It's not about sort of physical ability. And Yoda's this tiny little guy, but he has that fantastic scene in Empire when he lifts the X-Wing. And I think that's a nice sort of message that physical prowess is, I suppose, for two guys who are in as bad shape as we are. It's a nice message to think that it's a nice message to have that physical prowess isn't important. It's all about sort of inner strength and what comes out of your head and stuff. And my 1 and my 10 are both here partly because of how iconic they are. And Yoda is very well known. His manner of speaking is something that he is known in outside of Star Wars fandom. People know who Yoda is, which makes him great. Not whether or not he's a good character isn't important, but he's great because he's iconic. which is a different thing to being an interesting person he's well known about. And that's one of the reasons I've got my number one. I think we have the same number one, because we talked a little bit before we compiled our lists. But yes, I think Yoda is... Well, he's, like I said, he's this embodiment of the mind and more important than matter and all that. He's very iconic, and he trains Luke. He trained Obi-Wan. He trained Anakin. He's the King of the Jedi.
He's definitely the oldest of the
Let's go with
Jedi.
King of the Jedi.
Yes.
Okay. Who's your number 9, Freddie?
Yoda.
Excellent. Justify.
Pretty much the same reasons you did it. And that X-Wing scene in The Empire Strikes Back still gives me chills when I watch it a bit.
Are they multiplying? Do they multiply when you see that scene? Do you lose control? Because the power Yoda supplies is electrifying! Sorry, continue.
Yes, it's just a great scene. I love the film about. I just think Yoda's he's a Star Wars stalwart, so to speak. And yes, things.
Okay. My number 9 is Rey.
Ah.
Well, she's our new hero. She's our new main character into the new series, which is, so she's going to be, I think, one of the most exciting, because there wouldn't be point in having a hero if they were dull. But I like that. I think she's some sort of... People think she's the reincarnation of Anakin or Obi-Wan or whatever. She might be related to Obi-Wan or Luke, who knows, but I think she's some kind of chosen one because of this ability she has with the Force that, without any training, she can use straight away. Like, she mind tricks Daniel Craig when she's tied up, and she moves the lightsaber. I think that people are saying that it's because she's a Mary Sue. Well, fucking shut up. I don't like the idea of the Mary Sue. I think it's a bit sexist. Although there is apparently a name for a male equivalent.
There is,
but
yeah.
I don't think she is a Mary Sue. Her being bilingual and being a pilot is just because of how she grew up. But yes, I think she's some sort of second chosen one, maybe, which might explain why some people think, if they think that she's a reincarnation of Anakin, which I disagree with. But yeah, I find Rey very likeable as well. I like that she's mysterious. I think it's good that when they began writing Force Awakens, they knew that people would be wanting a big shock in the same way we have the big shock in Empire Strikes Back about Luke and Vader. So, and they sort of acknowledge that by giving you making Rey mysterious straight away, by not insulting the audience by saying, oh, maybe there's a mystery about her, by letting us know straight away that there is. Yeah, like I said, I find her likeable. I think she's pretty cool. It's like she's quite similar to Luke, but maybe a bit tougher than Luke because she's grown up living on her own. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and it's nice to have a female protagonist because she seems like, yeah, she's the main character of the new trilogy, and it's good to see women represented in action films that aren't very 2D characters like some of the girls in, say, Fast and Furious. Yeah. So, Freddie.
Yes.
Number 8.
Mace Windu.
Justify.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Fun fact, Samuel L. Jackson had the letters BMF engraved on his lightsaber hilt in those films.
Yeah.
I bet you knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think he's a cool character. And he's awesome with a lightsaber.
He is. And he has that fantastic line in Attack of the Clones, which is so Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
This party's over. I was trying to put him on, but I couldn't find space.
Ah.
Continue. I'm guessing you've got more to say then.
Not really, no.
Ah, okay.
I just like him.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. I'm sure there are probably stronger characters, but I just like him.
All right. My number 8, and I know you don't have these people on your list, is R2 and 3PO. I think George Lucas has said that the story's told through their eyes. I mean, it's not really in Force Awakens because I'm not in it so much, but they are the first characters we meet. C-3PO is, I think, the first character to speak in the series, and they've sort of witnessed just everything that takes place. And, of course, they're very funny, and they're not easy to sort of replicate. And you look at Jar Jar Binks, I think was meant to be the prequel's sort of equivalent of 3PO because he's kind of funny and wacky and whatever. Well, 3PO is not wacky, but he's not. He's funny and he's not human.
Yeah.
And yes, I think they're again less so than Yoda, but they're sort of quite iconic. Like my mum knows who R2D2 is, and she's not a Star Wars fan. She's normal.
Yeah.
Not like us. Anyway, yes, they are again. Well, prior to Force Awakens being released, they were one of 2 characters to appear in every film. Yeah, and they, given that they're maybe not sentient, I think they are. I like the idea in science fiction of robots being able to genuinely think for themselves, like Crichton in Red Dwarf, or the kid in AI is a better example. Even though maybe they are sentient, maybe they're not, but you care about them even if they're not. But I think they are. And 3PO gets some of the best laughs, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
Also, whilst they both have seen pretty much everything so far, only R2D2 can remember.
Sorry, I was just telling
it because at the end of episode 3, 3PO has his memory wiped.
R2 does as well, doesn't he?
I am not sure.
I'm sure they both do.
Okay.
Tweet in.
Yes,
Tweet in
please
and tell
do.
us.
Yes.
I'm certain they both have their minds wiped. Okay, Freddy.
Yes.
Number 7.
You are not going to like me for saying this name, but
If it's Jar Jar Binks, you will die.
No. It's better than that pile of trash.
Good.
Lando Calrissian.
Ah, yes. I'm not a Lando fan. Anyway, carry on. We discussed this before we recorded.
Whilst he did betray Han, he did also pilot the Millennium Falcon in the Battle of Endor and had a very big impact on destroying the second Death Star.
He did, but that's just, I'm not a big fan of the second Death Star thing either because it's just exactly the same as they did in 2 films ago. So I think that's pretty dull. And I'm not a Lando fan.
Yeah, it is dull.
But if Han Solo had died, he would be Han Solo.
Yeah,
do you think
exactly.
Return of the Jedi would be less liked if Han wasn't in it? Because Harrison Ford didn't want to come back, did he? You probably know this. If you listen to Overcorrect, you probably know that Han has wanted bloody... What's his name? That Harrison Ford has wanted Han Solo. Not Han Solo has wanted Harrison Ford to die. Sorry, that's what I was going to say.
Also, at the end of Empire,
he's wearing Han's clothes. Yeah. That's not good. Like if you were kidnapped by space Nazis, I wouldn't go to rescue you wearing like your jacket and your Doc Martens. That would be no. You could wear his own clothes.
Yeah, but
that's quite symbolic because he's becoming the new Han character.
Yeah.
So
that's.
But I wouldn't do that. Take your jacket.
No, well, yeah, well, it's a. I don't think I have the feeling that the critic kind of thought. I don't know how it played out, but maybe they thought Harrison Ford wouldn't come back at the time they shot that scene.
My number 7 is the Emperor.
Ah.
I think the Emperor's a bit two-dimensional because he's just played as really evil and we don't know much about him. But in The Empire Strikes Back, I remember the first time I watched Empire when I was really young. When you see that there's somebody else more important than Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
The Emperor, for one reason only, and that's because when you first see him, you realise that, there's somebody more important than Darth Vader, and that's great. It also maybe makes Vader a little less scary, which I think is, it's not great to make your villain less scary, but it undoes what was done in A New Hope in yet another way, because Empire had A New Hope had the really happy ending, and Empire has the really sad ending. Oh, he's really, really scary, and then in Empire, maybe he's not so scary. Yes, the Emperor, that's the only reason he's on here, really. And I suppose because if Yoda was, he had to be, because they're sort of the opposites of one another. But Yoda's probably a greater character or better character. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Freddie, who's your number 6?
Palpatine, Sidious, the Emperor, whatever you want to call him.
Excellent, let's hear it.
Because partly because of the opera scene in Episode 3, which I think is probably the best scene in the prequels.
The best scene in the prequels is Mustafar.
No.
You fool!
No.
No, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
He's lying.
I'm not lying. It is it's
Okay, let's come on.
right, because you get the reason why I think it's the best scene in the prequels is you can kind of see you do see where the temptation comes for Anakin
I agree with you. Is it possible to learn this power? It's what most people would say.
It's also well acted from Hayden Christensen.
Yes,
which,
it is. He gets a bad rap for being terrible in those films, and he's not terrible.
Especially given that Luke in Episode 4 is a bit whiny as well.
Yeah, Anakin, by the time he was 19, he was married. Luke was playing with a space shuttle toy. How old? I always thought when I was watching these films that Luke's meant to be sort of 17, 18, when he starts those, when we see him. Do you know how old he is meant to be?
19, because Episode 4 is set 19 years after.
Duh. So that was your number 6?
Yes.
Excellent. My number 6 is possibly my favourite Star Wars character, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
He's... Okay, when we first meet him, he's the sort of the Merlin figure, the sort of old wizard giving Excalibur to Arthur. But he's also, even after he dies, he's a great presence in Luke's life because he returns in both films as a ghost, or in both sequels to his first appearance as a ghost. He sacrifices himself for reasons that aren't quite made clear, actually. In The New Hope, he lets Vader kill him.
Maybe it's to show Luke that he's got to keep on the path he's going, or something.
Who knows? I mean, the reason George Lucas killed him off was because he just needed Obi-Wan to get Luke into the story, and after that it wasn't important, so he was going to kill him off. So he killed him off. Same thing they were going to do with Jesse in Breaking Bad. Wait, how far are you in Breaking Bad?
Not even past the first series.
Okay, well, there's a death in the first series of a not important character.
Okay.
And it was going to be Jesse, but it's not Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. Yes, he's also my favourite character, but I think he's really my favourite character because of how he's in the prequels. Because he seems like if you're a good Jedi and if you're talented and if you work very hard and if you have a good sort of set of morals, that's the standard of you get to. I mean, Obi-Wan, he was a general or a commander or something in the Clone Wars, and he was on the council. Yes, he's very likeable. I mean, Ewan McGregor has a couple of sort of dry jokes in the prequels, which I think are great. He is possibly the best part of the prequels.
Yeah.
Other than maybe having Liam Neeson in Phantom Menace. And that was Liam Neeson when he was really hot, because he'd just done, or had done, Schindler's List.
Yeah,
and it was before he was doing sort of Taken 7. Yeah, he seems like Obi-Wan in the prequels seems like Luke, or the older Obi-Wan in 2 and 3 seems like where Luke would be sort of 5 or 10 years after Return of the Jedi. And I think there is maybe a similarity between sort of young Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace, who's meant to be mid-20s, and Luke in the latter 2 films, particularly Return of the Jedi. Yes, I like Obi-Wan a great deal.
My number 5 is Leia.
Mine? Justify.
Right, because she's very important in terms of the rebellion. She's part of the great line, "I love you, I know."
Yep.
She's got some...
Excuse me, chaps, I just sneezed.
She's got some good lines and stuff. She kills Jabba. Who
Yeah, that's
is
a
a good
fantastic scene.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay.
Reasons.
My number 5,
Yes.
and I'm disappointed, really, I couldn't put this person higher, because I think they are the best written, possibly most complicated, conflicted Star Wars character, and I would have liked to have put this person higher. And if we were going on best character alone, I would have put them at number 1. Because I think the actor who plays him also gives a fantastic performance. But this is a sort of combination of quality of character and greatness. I mean, the reason people are on the lists, this character is Princess Leia's son, Kylo Ren.
Ah.
I think he is... Yeah, if this was best characters alone, he would without a doubt be on top. He has... When we meet him, I didn't know this. I thought it was some time ago that he turned to the dark side, but apparently it's not that long after he's turned. And he's very clearly, when we're on the gantry with Han, I knew, and I'm guessing you did, which way he turned, because it wouldn't be interesting if he came back to the light side at the end of the first film.
Yeah.
But it seems like he really is undecided as to whether or not he can, or he should, stay for dark. And I think his reasons... I think he's afraid of Supreme Leader Snoke. And I don't think it's necessarily attraction to power, but there is... Adam Driver has said that he saw Kylo Ren as a religious fanatic who truly believes in what he believes, but doesn't mean he hates those who don't. Like, I think he'll regret killing Han. I mean, when we see him straight after, when he fights Rey and Finn, he's shown as evil. But he's seen as evil, and Rey even says to him, "You monster," and we're supposed to hate him. But I think he will regret killing Han. And I think his youth is emphasised, because when he takes his mask off and the first time you see his face, and then again when he's on the gantry, when he's under that light, he looks almost like a teenager.
Yeah. He's very young.
Adam Driver's 30. Michael Fassbender was considered, and he's going to be at least 35. So they're not aiming for somebody that young. But that's sort of the look that if they want him to look like an adolescent in that scene, it's because he's not quite a fully formed person yet. So he's still deciding who he wants to be, as we are as teenagers. And he seemingly gets there by killing Han. But yes, I think he will regret that. And I think, I'm not the first person to say this, I think it'll be death and it'll be redemption in death for him. I think he'll come back to the light and do something good and die. But it better work, because Darth... Actually, I'll get onto that later. Or maybe not at all. But yes, I think he's the best, the deepest, well-written character, best performed character in the series. It's not fair to call him evil. Like, he killed his father, but in another very well-liked property, one of the, for lack of a better word, heroes of that story kills their father, who is... He's not evil, he's just really nasty. He's just a dick. He's not sadistic like other characters in this property. I'm not saying what it is, because I don't want to spoil it, but people who have seen this will know what I'm talking about. I don't think that person... I don't judge that character for killing their father, so... I don't think Kylo Ren can be hated for committing, I think, patricide, but he did kill Han Solo. I mean, the fact that whoever kills Han Solo's got to be hated by cinema audiences, right? It's killing Han Solo. But yes, I think Kylo Ren's the best. Freddie's just looking at me like I'm an idiot.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because I think... Should I say that?
What? No,
I haven't got, with the exceptions of, 3 characters, I haven't got anyone from the sequel trilogy in there.
Okay. Great. Anyway, yeah, I think Kylo Ren, best written character, best performed character. Can't wait to see where he goes. I think he also... a lot of people, when he's got Rey, this is not really important. I'm just sort of talking about it now as it's come to mind. Do you remember when he has Rey in the interrogation chair?
Yeah.
When you watched it the first time, or any times, did you think... I didn't, but did you think they had a sort of brother-sister vibe, in inverted commas?
I am not sure.
I didn't. I thought it seemed more like he was a bit rapey.
I didn't get that
No,
at all.
I did. I think I spoke to someone on the phone about it. After I saw the film, I got in the car, my dad picked me up. I rang my friend who had seen it at midnight. I screamed for about a minute and then started talking. And yeah, I think Kylo Ren came off a little rapey in that scene. Like he had Rey tied down and he was penetrating her mind. And he was really up close to her. But they've never met before. JJ has said within the last couple of weeks, you've probably heard, if you listen to Overcracked, you know all this stuff.
Yes, you will.
But yeah, JJ has said that they've never met before, but he knows who she is. And that's why when someone says that he's gone off, I don't know, Finn's gone off with a girl, or the droid went to a girl, and he says, What girl? There we go. I also think he looks great. I like... do you mind me going on?
No.
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, God, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah. Christ, I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Help me, Freddie. Oh, Kylo Ren.
Yes.
Looks cool. When they were, again, writing the story, they knew that whatever villain they came up with would be compared to Darth Vader, and the audience would be thinking, oh, he's not as good as Darth Vader. So they have the villain himself think that, and they acknowledge that by him trying to make himself look like Darth Vader. But I like that his mask is not some kind of imitation of Darth Vader's mask, but it's something... Right. It's like, I don't know, the difference between a paintball mask and a biker helmet.
Okay, yeah.
Or a paintball face mask, not an over-the-head helmet. You can get like a hockey mask or something, or a biker helmet. Yeah, I think I like the design of this mask as well. The grill, it looks like part of a jukebox or an old-style car or something. Great.
I hope he wears that in episodes 8 and most likely 9.
Apparently, he's going to look more Darth Vader-y in episode 8. That was in the news within the last week or 10 days or something. I hope they don't do that. I think it's good to have new ideas and new characters and new families and things brought into this big long story, which is why I don't want Snoke to turn out to be Plagueis, which is, if he's going to be anyone that we know who they are, it'll be Plagueis. But I would rather just have a new character. Okay. I've talked far too long about Kylo Ren, I apologise. Oh, there's a great Twitter account as well, Emo Kylo Ren. Have you seen this?
No.
It's wonderful. It's just a sulky teenager. Or Kylo Ren being a sulky teenager. Like it's Ben being a sulky teenager. Ben Solo.
I'm going to look at that.
It's very funny. Yeah. Who's your number 4, Freddie?
Luke.
Okay. Justify.
Well, he's the original protagonist?
Yes.
I always get protagonist and antagonist mixed up for some reason. He's fairly identifiable, especially in episode 4.
Do you mean relatable?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I
wasn't correcting you, I was just asking because I wasn't sure what you meant.
Yeah.
I wasn't being pedantic.
No.
Fantastic.
What else? The last scene of Force Awakens.
Oh, yes.
Which is just hearing that. No dialogue. The music's right. Then it ends on a kind of cliffhanger, which
it does. A cliffhanger on the end of a cliff.
Yes, just like in The Italian Job.
Yes. Is that where the term cliffhanger came from?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. I thought if anyone would know, it would be you. Yes. First time in Star Wars. It's episode 8. Episode 8 is going to be the first time a Star Wars film picks up immediately after the last one, isn't it? What are we on now? Number 4?
Yes.
Oh, wait, are you still talking about Luke?
No.
Okay. My number 4 is Princess Leia.
Aha!
I didn't... Actually, I'll say what I was going to say once I've talked about my number 2.
Okay.
My number 4 is Princess Leia. She is, I think, often because of the sort of chemistry and the sort of bromance in inverted commas between Han and Luke in the originals. Leia's sometimes forgotten about a little bit, but I think Leia's great. We know that she's a general. She's General Organa by the time we get to her in Force Awakens, but prior to that, she was, again, a teenager who was conducting missions for her government. She stands up to Darth Vader first time she meets him. Bigger balls than any of his soldiers.
I recognise your foul stance when I was
as soon as I was brought on board. No, that's not
that's
Admiral Tarkin,
yes.
isn't it? Yeah. She is a bit of a sort of wisecracker. Like when Luke comes into her cell and she says, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" She knows that it's someone who's coming to. She knows somehow she's being rescued. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was slouching or something. Who remembers? Yeah. But she's just sort of being a smartass about it straight away.
Yeah.
And she has that fantastic get in the garbage, you flyboy. Like, as soon as they've come to rescue her, and she doesn't say thank you. She starts bickering with them.
She starts ordering them about.
Yeah. She's tough as nails. It's cool that she gets to fly the Falcon. I'm not a fan of Return of the Jedi second Death Star thing, and it's even worse in Force Awakens with the Starkiller base that's the Death Star.
It's a
very big Death Star. Yeah. It's the Death Star. It's a big one, though. I think she's... the good thing about the 3 leads in the originals is any one of them would be capable of being the lead character.
Yeah.
Which we don't really have. Of the 3 main characters in the prequels, Anakin is sort of main character, but Obi-Wan's the one who gets top billing in 2 and 3.
Really?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor does, but maybe that's because he's the biggest name. And then there's Padme, who is
Natalie Portman.
Underwritten, I think. I think Natalie Portman's very good. But oh my god, we could talk about the prequels for ages, which we're not going to do.
No.
Princess Leia is... I think she's pretty special. She gets to kill Jabba.
Yeah.
In which you said.
Yes.
In that fantastic scene. I think she's... Yeah, she's great. She's like the female equivalent to Han Solo, really. I bet she listens to Joan Jett, Princess Leia. But maybe Joan Jett doesn't exist in space because Underwear doesn't.
No.
So I bet punk rock or sort of post-punk, isn't it?
You say that,
she was late 70s when she was... Anyway, so what?
You say that, but the metal bikini she wears, is that counted
bikini
as
is underwear.
Good point. Fair enough.
If you see a woman in a bikini, you've just seen her at the beach. If you see someone in underwear, hang on a minute, what's going on there?
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Who's your number 3?
Your favourite character.
Excellent.
Yes, because he is instrumental in all 6, in the first 6 films. Instrumental.
Maybe not in Return of the Jedi.
Well,
but he's continue.
Yeah,
he is very important, isn't he?
Trains Anakin.
Yes.
Trains Luke.
Yes.
And then passes him over to the white person to train him after his demise.
Yes.
He's got some good lines in the prequels, like "Flying is for droids," which is one of my personal favourites.
We came to rescue you, Master. Good job.
Yes. Yes. That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else? He's very strong-willed, if that's the right word, in terms of his views on Anakin in Episode 1. If you know what I mean.
He doesn't want to train Anakin, doesn't he?
No.
He
doesn't. Qui-Gon does. But
then at the end he tries to persuade Yoda that he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He changes his mind.
Yeah.
Because it's what Qui-Gon wanted.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, he doesn't want to take Anakin on. If they just listened to Obi-Wan, so much crap would have been avoided. Like if he'd said, "No, this kid is dangerous. We need to lock him up."
I think the Empire would have still, but because of course, by that point, Palpatine was the Chancellor.
He was,
So,
but
but there wouldn't have been just the Enforcer type. We now know.
But would Darth Maul still be around? Because Obi-Wan might not have killed him.
He hasn't killed him.
Oh yeah.
In Episode 1 because he's in the.
But he's
so
not. He's not in the
between-
prequels, is he? He's not in 2 and 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I saw that.
yeah.
Look, yeah. Okay. We're on number 3 now. Oh wait, have you got any more to say on Obi-Wan?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Certain?
Yes.
Are you certain? You're sure that you're certain?
Oh, I would say one more thing. The fight against Darth Maul.
Was
Brilliant.
pretty great.
Yes.
That was when you were a kid. Was that recreated so many times on the stairs at home
Not really. No.
with your action figures? No.
I didn't have any action figures.
When you were little?
Not Star Wars ones.
No.
No.
My God. My number 3 is Han Solo.
Okay.
He was originally my number 2, but I brought him down because I put somebody else at number 2. He is, like we were saying about Yoda and R2, he's iconic. And he's probably, if you said to most people who like Star Wars, and when I say he's iconic, he's known by most people who don't know what Star Wars is. Like, yeah, my parents know who he is. He's also, if you say to most people who like Star Wars, who's your favourite character, most of them are going to say Han, because he gets the best jokes, he does the coolest stuff, he gets the girl at the end, he's the one who sacrifices himself for his friends, or he gets taken away and whatever, in Empire. He's someone who, by the time we meet him, is a sort of, he's more developed, not better written, but he has more of a life when we meet him than Leia, who's just sort of doing things for her parents, or Luke, who's
a farm boy.
Well, Leia and Luke are still trying to get to something in their life that they'll be doing for the rest of their lives, whereas Han, he's in his career essentially by the time we meet him.
Has started.
Yeah, he's got Chewbacca and he's got the Falcon. And he's got that fantastic gun, which is it's either a Luger or no, it's not a Luger. It's a Mauser which is a German pistol from World War One with things put onto it.
Aha! I didn't know that.
He's probably the most frequently cosplayed Star Wars character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
But even though what he wears essentially is sort of riding trousers and a shirt with half the buttons undone and a waistcoat. I mean, yeah, easy to cosplay, but not the best looking, not the best dressed Star Wars character. That's probably Lando or Queen Amidala.
Queen Amidala, the most complicated. Lando, the best dressed, I think. Kind of like Lando's kind of like the cat in Red Dwarf, I feel, in terms of fashion.
Maybe. God. Han Solo. I was just saying about Han Solo. Yeah, but sort of it, I guess. He's a fan's favourite character, most likely. He's your favourite character, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Obi-Wan. Is down at number 6. Okay, who's your second?
Han,
yeah. I thought that was because we had the same 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Then I changed. Justify.
Because he's very, very cool. He's got great lines. He shot first.
He did.
But officially, in terms of the
No, Han shot first. Shut up. No,
What?
Han shot first. Okay. Han shot first, and Lazenby did not talk to the audience on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Are you bartering with me?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Actually, I'm not, because we want
You-
to say... That would be like both of us wanting you to have my money. Because neither of us like Lazenby talking to the audience.
No, we don't.
And neither of us like Han shooting first.
What? Hang
No,
on.
and then
No.
neither of us like Greedo shooting first.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yes,
So I'm not bartering with you.
damn.
Let's agree that for those of you who've seen On Her Majesty's Secret Service, pre-title sequence does not happen. It's not real. It all takes place in Freddy's head when he's having a nightmare.
I like it. Apart from that one line, I think the fight is quite good.
It's terrible. It's really weirdly cut.
No, it's
That's rubbish.
it's the most violent fight in terms of reels. It's probably from the 60s films, at
You
least.
think so?
Yeah.
No, the From Russia with Love fight against Red Grant has got to be better than that. You don't think?
Yeah, that's better, but, you know, in terms of that accepting, it's probably the
Okay.
best. Because
Well, I entirely disagree with you. I think
Because-
it's terrible.
there were there aren't as many jump cuts and
Okay.
so on. It's you can feel the
I'm not
Like
going to watch it
Daniel
again.
Craig.
We're not going to watch it again to continue this discussion. But after both of us have next watched it again, we must continue this discussion.
yes.
Or should we? We're ready?
Well, we are probably going to do the Bond films
Yeah.
at some point, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Okay. My second,
Mhm.
Luke.
Okay.
He is when you say Star Wars, just about everyone thinks of the first three. Luke's
Yeah.
the protagonist in those. He is a very good person. He's sort of like, what's his, Sir Galahad, who is the one who sits on the chair and isn't killed because he's pure. Well, it's a story from King Arthur, and Sir Galahad's the one who finds the Grail. And he's
Okay.
the only person worthy of drinking from the Grail, like Indiana Jones.
Mm.
He's the only person worthy to drink from the Grail because he's so good. I sort of think Luke is on that same end of the D&D scale of good and evil, on a scale of sort of 1 to 10. Luke is
Okay.
at 10. I think he's sort of pure of heart, so to speak, sort of like Frodo. Or
Yeah.
he's meant
Yeah.
to be a modern day Frodo, or Wart, who is what Arthur's called at the beginning of Once a Future King. He's our hero for the first three films. He's the protagonist. Yeah, the first Star Wars main character. He's the one who has the biggest journey. He becomes more mature. He becomes more worldly wise. And in Return of the Jedi, Luke, it was originally going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, but Luke has changed it because Jedis don't take revenge. But you were meant to think that Luke might turn evil, but he doesn't. Whereas Anakin does. Yes, Freddie. He's got his hand. He had his hand up. Yeah.
I've got a point to make here.
Yep, go on.
That's probably shown by him wearing black when he enters.
Yes, and he wears
Jabba's
white
palace.
in New Hope, grey in Empire when he's training, and black
Yeah.
when he goes into Jabba's palace. And that's not by accident.
Yes.
I mean, he force chokes that pig guard,
Yeah.
green pig guard.
Yeah.
Do you
He's
think
quite
if you-
arrogant as well in that? You know, in terms of his speech, the kind of things
suppose
he
he is
demands.
Well, it's not arrogance.
It's not-
It's
no,
more
it's not.
confidence. Han
Yeah.
is arrogant. Luke is just not this farm boy who plays with toys when he's 18 anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think if you killed one of Jabba's green pig guards, you'd have green ham? And do you think he has green chicken guards who lay green eggs? Green eggs and ham?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Freddie looked a bit bewildered.
Yeah. I was just confused with where you were going.
It was just a weird point of reference, I suppose. But yes, Luke is. I think
green pig's ham, of course.
green eggs. What? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Luke's, I think, the second best. All right. I think we have the same number one.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
Vader.
Yeah.
Vader.
Until we had Force Awakens, Anakin Skywalker was the main character.
Yes.
And still, wait, no, sorry. You justify first,
Okay.
then I will. We'll have the same things to say.
Because, well, the story's about him.
It is.
He's also got an effect on Kylo when 30 years after his death.
Yep.
That's half my life added on to the amount of life I've used up. Just for some context. He's iconic. The suit of Vader is brilliant. It's simple.
I was saying earlier, sort of 10 and 1 are both because they're iconic. Vader is the flagship image for promoting Star Wars,
Yeah.
isn't he? The mask.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what that is.
You could just have a teaser poster for a Star Wars film, and probably episode 3 would work best with just Vader's mask.
Have you seen the first Phantom Menace teaser poster?
Yes, I have. That's
Yeah.
genius.
It is. Well, I don't know if it's genius. It's pretty good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the main character. He's the character that everyone knows. My parents know who he is. People on the street know who he is. Bloody Lauren probably knows who he is. Our friend who's not into Star Wars.
My 6-year-old sister knows who he is.
I knew who all of these people. Well, most of these people were when I was 6.
Yeah. And she likes Star Wars. But, yeah.
But I'm talking about people who don't know about Star Wars.
Okay.
They know who he is.
Yeah.
They know the breathing sound. They recognise his music. They may not know what's under the mask, but they know. They might not know he's Anakin Skywalker, but they know he's the bad guy in Star Wars, and nobody forgets that image of him when you first see him walking down that corridor in A New Hope.
Yes.
And yes, he is Anakin's the main character of most of the story. Sorry, excuse me, yawning. Sorry. He's maybe not best presented in the prequels, not the best written, because there's a lot of, in the prequels, sort of Anakin behaving like he's just sort of having a strop, but they clearly had, whoever wrote it, I'm guessing it was Lucas, clearly had, or was it Lawrence Kasdan?
The prequels?
Yeah, who wrote the prequels? Is it Lucas?
Lucas.
By himself?
I think so.
Okay, but it was, of course, clear what Lucas sort of needed to do, or what Lucas was trying to do, because we know where Anakin needed to end up. I don't think Hayden Christensen is deserving of all the hatred he gets in those films.
No,
he's not. He's not. If you've seen Clerks 2, and he's sort of ripped into for being Anakin Skywalker, that's
quite good.
I haven't
seen Clerks.
Actually, I think Clerks 2 might be disagreeing with that view, because one of the main characters is arguing against someone who says that. So maybe Clerks 2 agrees with me, or Kevin Smith, because he wrote it. Maybe he agrees with me that Hayden Christensen isn't deserving of all the hatred he gets. He's a sort of, what's the word? He's a tragic hero. He's a hero, a villain. He turns good, then he dies.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the best Vader scene is probably the throne room in Return of the Jedi when he kills Palpatine. Yeah. Any more to add?
I have a different favourite Vader scene.
Okay.
End of episode 5, as Han is put into carbonite, and there's that smoke or steam, and it just reveals the mask, which I think is pretty cool. That's the only thing.
Oh, we're both wrong. The best Vader scene is "I am your father."
Shit.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't be allowed to do Overcorrect. Maybe we should get our housemate Jade to do it instead.
Nah.
No, come on. Best Vader scenes, and we feel that's arguably the most important scene in the entire series, other than Mustafar. Well, thanks for listening. We'll probably do Hannibal Lecter at some point, and Stranger Things.
Yes, and
not Mad Max, because
no.
we're not doing Jack Reacher. We don't know if we've said in an episode about the Jack Reacher double bill, but we've agreed we'll only do, because we want to watch everything related to a property if we're going to discuss it. Freddie's not fussed about watching the Jack Reacher films, and we've agreed that we're not going to subject the other to things they don't want to watch for Overcranked, so we're not doing Jack Reacher. The next episode may be Hannibal Lecter, who knows?
Maybe.
Yes.
We generally don't know what we're going to do next.
No, you only came up with today's within the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, so long. Thanks for listening.
May the Force be with you.